What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Montana Method Podcast one more time. Your host is always Nelson Rodriguez Jr., author of Montana Method. Today, I have made podcast history once again, as I always do every week. Bring it to you a gentleman who is a pioneer in a space that most people aren't even aware of. Credit and consumer law. I would say not only is he a pioneer, but he's probably dominating the space, and he's going to be number one for a long time because the difference between number one and number two is so massive in this space that number two isn't even in the game.
Sheesh.
Please welcome my good friend in the consumer credit space, Daraine.
I've been out here hustling all my life. Every day we get into it. Really out here in these streets. That's day and night. Like there's nothing to it. When I was going through it, dog, I never got your call. I never asked for nothing, no. But now I want it all. I promise I'ma do it. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags.
What's up, my brother?
Listen, with an intro like that, come on, roll the red carpet out, bring me my shots. I need everything. What's going on, guys? My name is Daraine Delevante, your favorite consumer law expert. I teach people how to repair, rebuild, restore their own credit using consumer laws. I also teach credit repair business owners how to scale their business using my 4 key principle: lead generation, client conversion, client ascension, and continuity. Those 4 key elements can scale any business. How are you, my brother?
Good to see you, man.
Man, the pleasure is all mine, man. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. So I'm big on entrepreneurship. I'm also very big on financial education. That's something I preach to my people all the time. In the city of Miami, that's very lacking, especially in my own culture, in the Cuban culture. We're not very financially educated.
We're neighbors. I'm Jamaican.
Ah, all right. Oh, my boy. What part of Jamaica are you from?
Manchester.
Manchester.
It's in the middle south.
I dated a girl from, starts with an M.
Montego Bay?
No, small town in the south.
Mandeville?
Mandeville.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Okay.
Small world.
Yeah. Good people. Yeah, she ended up moving to like Europe or something.
Oh,
but
man.
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is.
It be like that sometimes.
Yeah. So how's life, brother? You look
Life is great. Every day is the best day of my life.
I love it. The only difference between a good day and a bad day is your attitude.
Facts.
Let me tell you.
Facts.
Some of the quote-unquote worst days of my life were like days where I learned the lesson that I've carried for forever. You know what I mean? And it's changed my core.
Well, what a lot of people don't comprehend is that crisis is a twin. And a lot of people only see one, but they don't see the other. Where there's crisis, there's also opportunity. So perspective and the way your mind work plays a big part in your outcome. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So, you know, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you cannot, you cannot. Either way, you are both right. The question is, which one are you going to feed?
So important.
Very
Super
much.
important. There's that old Indian story of every man has 2 wolves in his heart, a good wolf and a bad wolf. Well, you ask, which wolf wins? The one you feed.
The one you feed.
Yeah,
Correct.
man. So I'm with it, and I'm a product of, as long as you believe you can do it, you can. You know what I mean? I'm in the last decade of my life, I've accomplished many things, and I've had huge setbacks. But the setbacks were just those setups to come back even harder.
Correct.
The lower the setback was, the higher the comeback was. You know what I mean? So, and it all just came down to, I had to believe that I could do it one more time. You know?
But see, what makes us different is when a lot of people get that setback, they just lay there. They don't get back up.
Yeah.
See, the goal, the key is getting back up. How many times are you willing to get back up? See, if we figure out all the things that don't work, what is left? Only the things that work. But a lot of people, they're not willing to go through a little bit of pain to get to what they want. They think it's, you know, I want $1 million. I want to become a multi-6-figure or 7-figure entrepreneur or a billionaire. But you're not doing what it takes to become that. It's not the money that makes the person. It's you comprehending what to do, the know-how. But, you know, the gravitrophic moment of success, nobody wants to do it. They just want the photographic part of success where you become an instant overnight success, but nobody paid attention to your 10 years of studying, your 10 years of developing your craft, your 10 years of becoming the best. So it'd be like that.
I'm with it 150%. We live in the age of, let me get it now,
Yep.
instant gratification.
Microwave people.
And it's not with it, man. In order to cook a gourmet meal, you got to sit in front of that stove for a few hours and whip that pan and burn your hands and get dirty. And at the end, you know what you got? The best meal ever made by man. And that's how a life is. A life is more, I try to tell people, you're trying to get the lotto ticket. And the lotto ticket is not life. Life is a sculpture. You work on it and you chip at it and you chip at it and you chip at it. And 30 years later, it's a Michelangelo. You know what I mean?
It goes back to what you said earlier about financial literacy and financial education. People spend years of not knowing. It's not their fault that they don't know. You don't know the things you don't know. And they have bad credit, they have no credit, but something so important that was never taught. Well, it's like, do you really think a gazelle is going to get up one morning and say, hey, these lions just had a whole bunch of cubs. We're going to go over there and give them a class on how they can catch us early in the morning when we get up. Like, it don't make no sense. So, like, they're thinking that the financial institution is going to teach them how to pay 0% interest. They're not. They're not. So we have to become an informed consumer where we are seeking the information, because if you're paying 15, 25, 30%, come on, you got to know something is wrong. If you needed a cosigner, at some point you need to know that something is wrong. If you're being denied for credit and lines of credit, of course something is wrong. So the next thought process would be what? How do I fix what is going on? But people don't ask that question. They want to just go, let me get a microwave fix to 20 years of bad credit habit. It don't work like that.
Man. Spin some fire right at the gate. Love it, man. So, as an entrepreneur, you can get into many spaces, right?
Correct.
How was it that, so I can remember my journey, and I remember I've been involved in different industries. There was always a defining moment that was like, all right, I'm going to do this now. What was that moment that made you decide to go into credit?
All right. So, let's go back to 2019, right? 2019.
Different world.
Yep, active duty military.
Okay.
I was getting a job with the city. You know, they preach a 40-40-40 club. And I was with the 40-40-40 club. 40 hours a week, 40 years, retire, and 40% of your pension. Get the house, the white picket fence, the 3 kids and a half. Like, I was with it, right? And then I was supposed to get a city job in the Environmental Protection Division, right? And I put in my 2 weeks letter from the military for active duty to go reserve now. And as soon as December hits, I found out that the spot that I just put in the 2 weeks notice for isn't available anymore. Yes. The spot is gone, right? No explanation, no nothing. The spot is gone. Mind you, I was already training my replacement.
That's crazy.
So I couldn't go back because my replacement is there. And, you know, shout out to my commander at the time. He kept me on for a month because it was the holidays. He's like, there's nothing I can do. The most I can do is keep you on for a month. I know it's a holiday, so you can figure stuff out. I was so angry, right? Because I was doing everything right. I applied for the city job, go get a city job, go get an education. That's what I was taught, right? And I did it. And then, poof, just like that, gone. So then, January hits now. I'm not in active duty anymore. I'm out, bro. I'm out. There's no job. There's no, and I was just so angry. So I went to the barbershop, and one of my barbers was talking about this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I'm like, what kind of dumbass book is that? This is me coming from an ignorant place,
right.
And this is how much, like, ignorance is the most expensive bill you will ever pay. Right? So I'm like, what kind of dumbass book is this? Rich Dad Poor Dad. What, he got 2 dads? Stupid book. A stupid me, right? And then, okay, so the word and the title couldn't come out of my mind. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm going to put YouTube on. Dude. I listened to that book 3 times that night, right? Then I bought the book. First book I read back to front. My whole mind changed. Then I read Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Then I'm like, yo, this is a whole new world that I never knew existed, right? So I've seen rich people and all of that great stuff, but now to be in a rich and abundance mindset, it was the first time in my life. So fast forward 2019 now, 2020, we deployed to Kuwait, right? I read 140 books that year.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was my gravitraffic moment where, dude, I didn't even go outside. So when everybody was working out, fraternizing with females and doing all of these things, dude, I was reading 4 to 6 books a month, 10 books. I'm finishing a book in 2 days, bro. I was so consumed. And I read everything from business to credit to taxes, finances, self-development, everything you could think of revolving business, credit, and entrepreneurship and self-development. I was reading it, 140 books. And a lot of people that I deployed with, right? We came back in the end of 20. Now we're approaching 21, right? I got back on active duty, right? All right, so from February. From February of 21, now I'm back on active duty. I'm still doing my entrepreneurial stuff now. But then I got the news that, we overspent on the COVID budget. Your orders are going to be cut. Again, like how many signs can you get, bro, right?
That you're on the wrong path.
I was a part of the 40/40 club.
Of course.
Right? So then it hit. And I decided to invest in a mastermind. And I was like, yo, this is it. Because they're telling me that they overspent on the COVID budget, right? And now my orders are cut, but they still found money to send to Ukraine. Billions of dollars. My well-being is not...
It's not a priority.
It's not a priority anymore. Yeah. So you know who's a priority now? Me. What does that mean? Investing in me, believing in me, educating myself. Because now if I control my income, you cannot control nothing that I do. And that's when I learned that the person that controls the income controls the person working for that income. See, people trade time for money. They trade time for a little bit of somebody's money. But I learned the reverse. I learned how to create my streams of income so I can buy my time back, pay people to do the things that I don't want to do so I can have the freedom for the rest of my life.
That's what it's all about, brother. Buying time back. So time is the only finite resource on the face of the planet. It is the only thing that once you use it, you can't get it back. You can't buy it back. You can't trade it back. You can't wish it back. You can't hope it back, right? So I think it's funny when people wake up at 5 a.m. and they're like, oh, money's not everything. Then why do you wake up at 5 a.m. to go get it? Oh, because it's not everything? You know what's funny? The people that acknowledge that money's important are billionaires and millionaires, right? You know what I mean? Like, there's this disconnect. Money ranks up there with oxygen. Can we agree that? Like,
yeah, but it's crazy because I was talking to somebody today about this very same thing. So you were saying it. I'm just here laughing. Like, people will say, oh, money ain't everything. All right, you wake up every day for 8 hours a week, for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, for 40 years, right? To retire on 40%.
Of what wasn't enough on the first place.
Lying. Yep. Stop lying to me. Stop lying to yourself. The real issue is you don't know how to make money. And it's okay. Well, we can't make money. We're not the government or the Federal Reserve.
Money.
Correct. We don't know how to take money. That's what. We don't know how to take it from someone that's willing to spend it with us. That's what a lot of people don't know how to do. So they trade their time off, a lot of their time, for a little bit of somebody's money. Like, y'all just stop lying to yourself. Stop it. Acknowledge the fact that money is important. And it's right up there with oxygen. And I'm telling y'all, money makes everything a lot smoother. Like, if you have the option to be sad, right? Would you rather be sad in a Prius or in a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce? Come on.
The choice is pretty obvious.
If I must be sad, I'm going to be crying in a Lambo, bro. I'm going to be crying in a Rolls Royce.
Right. Definitely.
I'd rather be crying in a Rolls Royce.
You have problems whether you're broke or rich. You can solve a lot of those problems when you're rich.
A lot of them.
A lot of them. 99% of them. You know what I mean? I'm with you, and I've been rich and I've been poor, and like Jordan Belfort says, I choose rich.
Oh,
You know
I've
what I
been
mean?
poor.
Like,
I ain't going back. I ain't going back. I'm telling you, I refuse to go back. But take away all the wealth, take away all the clothes, take away all the riches, all the cars, all the apartments, all the homes. Guess what? I know how to make it right back. People think that rich is about money. It's not about money. It's knowing how to create your own stream and many other streams of income. Because rule number one, a rich dad, poor dad. The rich don't work for money. They have money work for them.
100%.
Poor people work for money. That's why you pay so much with the income tax. The rich don't have earned income. They don't. What are you going to tax? Oh, tax the rich. All right, good luck. And this isn't me saying it, guys, to be condescending. I'm letting you know there's a whole different game out there. And I was a part of the club that you are a part of. And when I woke up, I can see how the puppet is moved, but most importantly, I can see the strings that control the puppet.
110%.
That's the difference.
Yeah, very important. Once the veil's lifted, you can never be the same.
You can't.
Once you have access to that information, it's almost like jacking out of the matrix, and it's like, wow, I'm in the real world now. You could never go backwards.
But not everybody's ready for the real world. They say they want the truth, but do they really want the truth?
Nah, they want the blue pill. They want to go back to dreamland, you know what I mean, and pretend that things are a certain way. If that's what you want, I'm nobody to stop you, but that your life is never going to improve.
Let me show you how the system is rigged. A couple months ago, Wells Fargo got hit with a $3.7 billion lawsuit, right? For illegal fees, illegal repossessions, illegal foreclosures, creating fake accounts. Nobody went to jail. None. Bank of America, $250 million. Illegal junk fees, which includes late payment fees, overdraft fees, low balance fees, fake accounts. Nobody went to jail. Now, there was a couple that a bank, I don't remember what bank, wired $100,000 in their account. You can look it up too. You can look it up. Everything that I'm saying, guys, you can look up. For Wells Fargo, just look up. CFPB sues Wells Fargo, $3.7 billion. For Bank of America, look it up. CFPB sues Bank of America for $250 million. You can go look it up. And then now the other one, this couple, they got $100,000 in their account, right? They went and spent it. You know that right now they're about to face criminal charges? For $100,000 that the bank accidentally put in their account. But the same said banks can rip the consumer off millions and billions of dollars and nobody went to jail. And we really think that they're going to teach us about financial literacy?
They want you to stay ignorant. It benefits them.
Bad credit is the biggest business in America. America is backed by full faith and what? Credit of the United States people. Bad credit makes the most money for all the organizations. You got perfect credit, right? How much are you going to pay on a car note? The interest rate? With an 800, maybe a 850.
In this economy, not even with an 800 credit score. I haven't seen anybody I used to be in the car business. So you're lucky if you'll get a low percentage nowadays with this economy. Well,
we're talking about 800 right now could get you under 5%.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's say between 2 to 5%.
For sure.
But I go now with my 560. How much am I going to pay?
Double digits for sure.
Yeah. I'm paying 18, 25, 30%. So if the good credit people are going to be paid 2%, there's not much I'm making off of that. What do we know about bad credit? We know that you're not going to pay the term off. You're not. We know that for a fact. You are going to default, right? That's number one. Number two, we also know that 15 U.S.C. 1605, the finance charge, is an insurance that is built into the finance charge that protects the lender against the borrower or the obligor if they default. That is law. That insurance is in there, right? We also know now that there's dealer fees, there's docket fees, there's state fees, there's all the fees you can think of, right? So now, then they're paying 18, 25, and 30%, right? That's on top of everything already, Plus, they're going to be making payments now. And then we know that they're going to default on those payments. So now we can go repossess, we can sell, we can go after a repossession differential balance, then we can sell this account to the collections company. Do you comprehend how that one contract got paid almost 7 times?
And now we go sell that car to somebody else.
Yes. Bad credit
Crazy.
is the biggest business. But like when I speak this stuff, people look at me like, Daraine, you're crazy. Why are you telling people this? It is the truth. I was a victim of subprime lending. Dude, I paid for a used 2007 Nissan Altima. I paid, what was it? 18.9% interest rate on 75,000 miles. My first car. I couldn't even get it. I needed a cosigner.
That's insane. That's pretty wild.
I was a new driver too. So you know the insurance is crazy.
Yep.
For $950, I was paying for a used Nissan Altima with 75,000 miles on it. For $950, what type of car can I get right now? A car note of $950.
Something decent.
Something decent.
Yeah, yeah.
I probably could get a CLA or something, one of those Mercedes.
Definitely. You get a luxury car.
And imagine me paying that for a used Nissan Altima with
crazy.
75,000 miles. Oof. And y'all tell me that bad credit, y'all want to keep this bad credit lifestyle? It's the most expensive life I've ever lived. I refuse to go back to living a life of bad credit. Nope, not doing it.
Man, that's, and to think what percentage of just Americans, right, have bad credit and continue to this financial ignorance legacy from generation to generation to generation. And I mean, in my family, there's not that many people with great credit up until this day. And I've been one of the people who has educated himself a little bit to think of the pattern that just happens over and over and over and over again. And no one stops to think, why am I paying $950 for a Nissan Altima that's 12? You know what I mean? Like, why am I paying this much money for something that should only cost this much? No one stops to think about that. They just pay and pay and pay and work a job to stay broke.
But remember, people are programmed to follow instructions. You're not programmed to think
for yourself.
You're not.
Exactly.
So when we go back into social engineering, well, you've been told to do things all your life. So now if we say, go get this car, go get a cosigner, go do this, go do that, you're going to do it. You're not going to stop the thing. Yep. Well, why is the most important thing in your life, which is finance and credit, not even taught in our schools? Hello. But you can go get a loan to become an astrophysicist. But a simple topic of credit and finance is not taught in the schools. It's not taught in the homes because the parents can't teach what they don't know. They weren't educated on it. Their parents before them weren't educated on it. Where is the education coming from?
That's the issue, man.
Nowhere. So the difference between the have and the have-nots is not money, it's information.
110%. Information changes situations.
100%. And your situation changes your compensation.
There we go. Full circle. I like that.
It's a whole full circle. But we've been accustomed to getting so little piece of the pie that we think this little piece of pie is everything.
100%.
People think that there's a thing called late payment. People think it exists. There's a thing called utilization. People think it exists. And nobody went to think, okay, if the late payment and the utilizations really exist, where did it come from? Well, what gives that information? The consumer report. Well, what does the consumer report mean? Did anybody ever say, let me go find out the definition of what the consumer report really is and stop thinking that it's a credit report? So
a consumer report is not a credit report?
No, it's not.
Okay.
So, okay. Do you think credit bureaus are a real thing?
We could go down a rabbit hole with this, man.
It depends. You ready for it? You ready for this?
I'm ready for it.
Are y'all ready for this?
They're not ready for this.
Like, prepare to have y'all minds blown. Because everything you thought you knew about credit, I'm going to shatter your whole world. Just stick with me, all right? So, first of all, credit bureaus don't exist. There is there's a way of speaking that only the elites and high-level entrepreneurs and business owners know how to do it. It's called double speaking. Lawyers know it. Judges know it. Some people call it legalese, right? Double speaking is saying something when you mean something else. Right? So they'll double speak and you'll hear a credit bureau. Well, when you hear the word bureau, what do you think?
Government.
But are they really government agencies,
Definitely
though?
not.
They're not. Double speaking. So I lead you to believe that this thing exists. And you now believe that it exists because everyone in authority tell you a credit bureau exists. And they're Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, ARS, Innovis, Check Systems, all of these entities, right? We call them credit bureaus and we gave them a power that they don't possess. Double speaking. When you go to the law, 15 USC 1681, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and you go to the definition of what a consumer reporting agency is, it describes Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, right? Wait, was credit bureau in the definition? There is no credit bureau in the definition. So if the definition itself doesn't have the word credit bureau, where did the word credit bureau came from?
Interesting question.
Double speaking. They know the power of what? Language. Okay. Now let's talk about the late payments, because earlier I said it, and I know a lot of y'all are saying, Daraine, of course the late payment exists. I see it on my credit report. Yeah, you're right. You see it on your credit report. Your consumer report is independent of any factors of FICO. People think that a FICO score or a FICO report is their consumer report. It's not. FICO report has FICO factors. FICO is an independent company. It has nothing to do with your consumer report. All right, where's your phone? I want y'all to follow what I'm saying, because some of y'all be thinking, Daraine, you're just making stuff up. You're just here talking a whole bunch of game. All right, everybody that's hearing the sound of my voice right now, I want y'all to go into Google, right?
All right.
And type in 15 USC 15 USC 1681A.
15 USC
1681A.
1681A.
It should bring you to definition, rules, and construct.
All right. So 15 US Code 16 definition, rules, and construct.
All right, go down to number 2. Exclusions.
A, B, C, D. Exclusions. Except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does
Click
not
on the
include-
word consumer report.
Boom.
That's the definition of what your consumer report is. Go ahead and read it.
Means any written, oral, or other communication of any information by a consumer reporting agency bearing...
A what?
Consumer reporting
Did
agency.
they say credit bureau?
They did not.
Okay, continue.
By a consumer reporting agency bearing on a consumer's credit worthiness, credit standing, credit capacity, character, general reputation, personal characteristics, or mode of living, which is used or expected to be used or collected in whole or in part for the purpose of serving as a factor in establishing the consumer's eligibility for A, credit or insurance to be used primarily for personal, family, or household purposes, B, employment purposes, or C, any other purpose authorized under Section 1681B of this title.
Did you see FICO anywhere in that definition?
Nowhere.
So if Congress says that's the definition of your consumer report and FICO is not a part of it, how are we including FICO factors on our consumer report when our consumer report is independent of a FICO score or FICO and or its algorithm or its subparts? Okay, let's take it a step further. Go back for me.
All right.
Now, hit back and go back to the number 2 section. Now, I want you to read it again.
All right. So,
Except as provided.
all right. So I'm in exclusions. Right? Except as provided in paragraph 3, the consumer report does not include.
Does not include. So if someone says does not include, what does that mean?
It's not in there.
It's not in there, right? So is it fair to say that what you're about to say right now is not included in what the definition of what a consumer report is?
Right.
That's what they said, right? I bet. Let's get it. A1. You can go to
A1, reporting containing information solely as to transactions or experiences between the consumer and the person making the report.
What does that mean to you?
Report containing information solely as transactions or experiences between consumer and the person, meaning consumer, right? I mean, it has nothing to do with any of the bureau stuff. I mean, it's from person A to person B, right?
So remember I told you about double speaking?
Right.
Let me unveil double speaking to you right now in their own laws. All right. Transactions or experiences between the consumer and the person making the report, right? So first of all, we need to know who the consumer is, right? So click on the word consumer. Let's see what consumer means.
Boom. Consumer. A term, consumer means an individual.
All right, an individual. So we can establish that a consumer is you and I.
Right.
All right. Now, when you hear the word person, what do you think the word person means without clicking it yet?
A human being.
You think so? I want to put $1,000 on it that it means something totally different.
Okay. All right. So
click on the word person.
The term person means any individual, partnership, corporation, trust, estate, cooperative, association, government or governmental subdivision or agency or other entity.
Double speaking. People assume something means something that they want to think it means.
Right.
But when they're addressing certain person, they're not talking to you, the natural person. They're not talking to you, the consumer. They're talking about an entity. But people believe that when you hear the word person. It's a natural. No, it's not. Double speaking. All right. So now, transactions, right? Well, what is your payment history? Isn't it a history of your transactions?
Right.
The law says, except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include reports containing information solely as to transactions or experiences between you, the consumer, and the corporation making the report. Is not included. Where does the late payment come from?
It comes from an entity that's not included in this.
That your transactions are not included
Right.
as well.
Exactly.
So how can you report transactions when there's an exclusion for the transactions? If a transaction cannot be reported, how can a late payment be reported when a late payment arises from a quote-unquote missed transaction?
When the transactions aren't being recorded.
It's not recorded. Where does it come from?
It's fraud. It's fraud.
Their laws is right there.
It's
it
fraud.
was right here before I came from Jamaica.
Yeah.
It's right there. So now I want you to reread number 2 and then go to A1. And it's going to give you a totally different mindset now that you've unveiled the double language.
So, exclusion. Except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include 1. Reporting containing information solely as to transactions or experience between consumer and the person making the report. Now that you know the definition, you read that and you're like,
It's different now that
Totally
you see
different.
the double language,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So the double speaking is real. And like when we have contract, why do we need lawyers to read contracts? Why must a transaction be so confusing that I need somebody else to come interpret what's in there?
Facts.
It sounds like somebody's trying to be conned.
Yep.
Contract. Somebody's being conned. Right? So what I'm saying is you don't need to be a lawyer or a PhD. Dude, I got a high school diploma. But I realized that I needed to change the way I thought about things. And the most important thing is credit. I needed to become the best. This is how I learned how to build an 800 credit score 3 times in 1 year. Because what? I comprehended the factors of FICO. Factors of FICO and factors of the consumer report are separate things. But I know what FICO wants. They want a payment history, utilizations, the age of credit, the mix of credit, and new credit. So for payment history, they give what? 35%. For utilization, they give what? 30%. For age, they give 15. For mixture of credit is 10. And then for new credit is 10. That's 100%. But remember, the credit score ranges from what? 300 to 850.
Right.
That gives us 500 550 points. Now, if each category is broken down into percentages, it simply means that the 550 is also broken down with those corresponding percentages.
Okay.
So now for 35%, that's equal to 192.5 points. For utilization, which is 30%, that is equal now to 165 points, right? For age, we have 82.5. For mixture of credit, we got 55. For new credit, we got 55, equaling 550 points equal 100%. But now if we know that a late payment and a utilization does not exist, what does that do for us? It gives us back 357.5 points that you need to reclaim because there is no such thing as a late payment or a utilizations.
Information changes situations.
Situation changes compensation.
Serious. That's that's game changing. That's serious game changing right there, though. Man. And this is Matrix. This is the Matrix stuff. This is really.
You see what happens when you're able to see the strings that control the puppet?
100%.
It's different.
So what is it? So how was it that you came to find this information? Was it during that year where you were just reading 100 and something books?
My gravitraffic moment, correct. And I decided I will no longer become a victim. I will no longer be an uneducated consumer. I will be the educated consumer, and that's what led me down this path, and that's what led me to writing my ebooks. I just came out with a brand new ebook. It's called From a 504 FICO to an 810 FICO. Basically, I've cracked the code to FICO. And a lot of people, when I see them, I'll tell you about the secrets these credit bureaus don't want you to know, because guess what? We know they don't exist. So now we know that they don't exist. We know how to deal with them. We know how to talk to them. And in my ebook that anybody on here can get right now, as long as they text the word FICO, FICO, to 917-993-5238. So that's FICO to 917-993-5238. I'm breaking down the whole credit game. So I'm teaching you what a profile needs to look like. You're going for funding. What does an optimum profile need to be? Right? How many years you need to have? The amount of credit, the mixture of credit, the utilization. I'm breaking down the whole game. I'm teaching you now. And in this ebook, I have about 10 letters in there, right? A lot of people are sending good. Have you ever heard about a goodwill letter? When you're begging. So let's say you're the dealer, right? And you did a dealer finance. And I missed a payment. I'm going to send you a letter saying, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to miss my payment. My dog died and I had to do this. If you check my payment history, I've been a good steward. Please, can you remove or reverse this late payment? For what? Consumer law teaches you late payments don't exist. You don't have to pay collections. You'll hear people online say, oh, you don't have to pay collections. Ask them where they got it from. They will never tell you. 15 USC 1692 CC. In writing, a consumer can refuse to pay a debt collector. That is law.
Man. That's, wow. I'm just thinking of the amount of people, and I was in this category at one point. You get all those debt collectors and all these people calling you and hounding you all the time. You know what I mean? And it's a racket. It's a straight racket. They
threaten you.
Modern day mafia.
They threaten you. They call you, they harass you. But what happens when you don't know the law?
You get taken advantage of.
Yes, you do. Because I was one of them. People don't know about statute of limitations.
Super important, right?
They don't know. and it goes back to guys, you need to stop watching these binge movies and tune into podcasts like this. This is the type of information that you can use to take actionable steps on. It's crazy that everybody that's watching this right now, right? I just told them about the FICO ebook, right? That I wrote. I just told them to text the word FICO to 917-993-5238. And probably only 3 out of 10 person will do it. And then they're going to wonder why they got bad credit, why they're paying 18%, 19%, 26%. Why they're getting denied? There's a thing called state usury law. Have you ever heard about that?
Oh, yeah, but explain it to the audience.
All right. Each state has what is called a usury law, the maximum amount of interest rate that you can be charged for any item, right? So we're in Florida. Let's see, Florida state usury law.
I got you.
Yeah, because I don't want people to say, Daraine, you're making it up. You memorized a lot of stuff. I just know my stuff. I be reading this stuff every day. Florida state usury law.
Usury law. Here we go. All right. In Florida, the maximum permissible interest rate is 18%.
18%. And I'm willing to bet right now, $4,000 right now. Guys, in the comments, I want you to drop what interest rate you are paying right now on your car. Remember, the state of Florida caps at 18%. And I guarantee you in this comment, you're going to see interest rates exceeding 18%. That is a violation of Florida state usury law. How do you get that back? You need to write a usury law letter to recapture the duration of the excess of the interest rate and get your money back.
I know plenty of people playing a 22, 21%. I've seen it. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
I know I was a victim of it. Like everything that I'm telling, I've been through it. I did pay the 18.9% interest rate. I did pay that $500 car note on a used Nissan Altima with 75,000 miles. I got caught up by collections. They finessed me into paying a collection that was past the statute of limitation. I've been in there. I've been a victim of it. But no more. No more will I be a victim to any of them. Not happening.
Man. So I can imagine that this information, once people find out about it, you become you yourself become a commodity, and people want to get access to you, right? So with all the different places you're going to, how do you manage to, like, because once you start getting this information out there, your DMs and the people trying to get a hold of you must be in the thousands. How do you manage that? That's crazy.
It goes back to now being a great CEO. See, I have to hire smart people, people that are much smarter than me, that can take care of my systems, my operations, the back end of my office, that can take emails. Because right now there's going to be people on here that got the ebook, and then they're looking in their inbox and they didn't see it because it went to your spam, your junk, or your promotional folder. If it's the first time you're getting an email from me, so you want to check your spam, your junk, or your promotional folders. If you don't find it now, I have a team where you email us at support, SUPPORT, at consumerlawsecrets.com, and then my team now will get in contact with you. As long as you can show that you bought the item, it will be in your inbox within probably a few minutes as soon as they get the email. Right? So I am able to meet other CEOs like you to give this information without being stuck to a desk right now, answering 1,000 emails, answering 300 DMs. If I do that, I can't do nothing else. So hiring smart people and paying them to do the things that you don't want to do, so I can do CEO stuff, which is educate people, which is what I love to do.
Super important. Super important. Financial education has got to be the most powerful information by far.
But it's the biggest thing they don't want to teach you in school.
150%, because it keeps you weak, makes you a sheep. You know what I mean?
If you take a people, right, kill their ancestors, erase their history, you now can manipulate them to do whatever you want. So we create and indoctrinate a group or a society of people that does what they are told, that is not engineered to think, you're just to do. So if we say you need to get a house, go get a house.
Everybody does it, so I'll do it.
Everybody want to be like the Joneses.
I've lived my life. An entrepreneur 12 years ago told me, Nelson, if you're doing the opposite of what 99% of people are doing, you're doing the right thing.
Correct. That's what my mentor told me, and it's been working. But if you tell somebody that, they don't believe you. If I see everybody doing it, why would I want to do the opposite? Why would I want to do what everybody else is doing?
100%.
Obviously, y'all are not getting the same results. All right. 60% of the American adult population live paycheck to paycheck.
That's an astounding
There's
percentage.
330 million people in America, and about 160 million live paycheck to paycheck.
That's insane.
160 million that live paycheck to paycheck. How many of them you think got bad credit? All
Every
of them.
single one of them.
Correct. Because if you're living paycheck to paycheck,
Means
you're
you're broke.
robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yep.
Credit cards are not being paid. Loans are not being paid back. You're getting gypped out of high interest rate. But let's even go back further. You wake up at 5 a.m. You get on maybe the train that you're going to get taxed to buy that Metro card or take the Uber or whatever. You go to work. You're going to get a cup of coffee. That's taxed again, right? You go for 40 hours for the week. 35% is already gone in tax before you even get it, right? You go to the grocery store to buy food for your family. You're taxed again on money that you just got taxed on at work, right? Now, the kids need to go back to school. You're buying school supplies. You're taxed again, right? Now you're home. You're eating. Light bill, cable, phone.
All have taxes.
All have taxes on them. Can you see that at the end of the 40-hour week, you're left with nothing?
Taxation is theft.
Who gets all your money?
The government. Taxation is theft, brother. I'm with you. It's the biggest legal robbery in the world. You know what I mean?
Is it though? See, I don't want to get into the topic of taxes on this podcast because, I don't want no letter boys come looking for me. But just know that it's a voluntary system. You volunteer to pay taxes.
For it. Yep.
You volunteer. When you sign those forms, you're volunteering. I got a high school diploma. I'm not an accountant. Don't come at me and say, Daraine, I only got a high school diploma. I read some stuff. I did my research. Go do your own. But based on my research, the taxes is a voluntary system. And I'm not gonna go no further in there.
Leave it at that.
I only got a high school diploma. Go do your own research. The rich do not pay income taxes because the rich don't have income. If rich people can figure out that income is not the best way to make money, why is everybody going after a job? To earn income.
Exactly.
I don't want no income. I have no income.
There we go.
I have no income.
Rich people have corporate structure. Corporate structure, business structure. Now you're talking this kind of conversation up here. You know what I mean? It's
you want to learn the game. You learn the game from the people that have been doing it. And they're going to teach you the right way. These are in their codes. And what got me was when people say, oh, Trump paid no taxes. Oh, Grand Cordon paid no taxes. Oh, Robert Kiyosaki don't pay no taxes. Well, they pay employee taxes and business taxes. Income taxes they don't pay because they don't have incomes.
Exactly.
You cannot tax someone on income that they don't have.
Exactly.
How are you going to do that?
Exactly.
The rich don't work for money. Poor people do.
150%.
So when we change the way we think, we can join the club.
Now we're talking.
So it's like, dude, I don't play sports, right? And, okay, what team do y'all got down here?
Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins. All right, it's game time. I'm gonna go on that football field. I'm gonna get trampled. I never played sports a day in my life. I didn't learn the game. I don't know what to do. But I'm just gonna get on that field and go play like I know what I'm doing.
We're the best in the world.
Come on, I'm gonna get demolished. You wanna learn the game, you need to study the game. What are these people doing? Success leaves clue. Success has receipts. It's not hidden behind a wall in a vault up the stairs. Then you got to swing over to another building to get it. It's in books. People don't read.
I had a mentor years ago tell me, Nelson, if I ever have a secret, I'm going to put it in a book because nobody reads.
There's a whole book written about not paying taxes. It's called Tax-Free Wealth. There's books written on how not to pay taxes legally. There's whole books written. I've read them all. Like I said, I got a high school diploma, but I know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Traditional education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune, my brother. Super, super important.
Super important.
Super important, man.
I'm self-taught.
100% self-made. That's the way to go. When you follow your own path and you search for information that is relevant to what you want in life and you don't follow the pack, you design a life that is specific and tailored for what your dream is. I've learned to live in the gray area of life. There's too many people who think black and white. You are different from me. I'm different from her. Mm-hmm. She's different from him. Mm-hmm. And we all want different things in life. Once you understand that not everybody's the same and everybody's a different player in this game and you have to develop your own style, that's when I think you get to shine.
All right. Anybody got a quarter anywhere or a coin? Anybody got a coin?
No. Anybody got a coin? No.
All right. We've been told that there's two sides to a coin. Do you believe that is true?
I believe that's true.
You think it's true?
I think it's true.
So, if I pull out $1,000 right now, right? If I pull out 1,000, shit, you know what? Let's make it $4,000.
All right.
Right? And I can prove to you right now, you will get all of this if I cannot prove that there's three sides to a coin. I can prove that there's three sides to a coin. But if I can't, you just take my $5,000 right here. Just take it.
Deal.
All right. We got the heads, the tails, and the edge. All coins have three sides. See, you live on the gray area. The gray area is called the edge, where you're able to take two opposing views and look at both and come to your own conclusion. But see, subconsciously, you knew there's three sides. But in reality, they only taught us that there's either left or right. Only heads or tails. That's not true. There's the edge. Rich people live within the edge because this is where you're able to take what society has given you, take what you have learned, and create something else from it by being in the gray area, by living on the edge.
Now we're talking. Now you're speaking my language.
So now I get to keep my money, right?
You do.
All right, cool.
Oh, man. The edge. Very important.
Very important.
And only 1% of people live within that gray area, within that edge.
Yep.
And to become a 1%er, this is what it takes. It takes, ladies and gentlemen, it takes sacrifice. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of reading, a lot of researching, a lot of learning, a lot of working on yourself, and most importantly, a lot of implementation and action. Because without taking action, all that knowledge is worthless.
Faith without works
is dead.
Is dead.
Yes, my brother. Super, super important. I know. So I'm sure you're on the same page as me, where you have these friends that are just so full of potential, yet they never use it.
Oh, you sure you want to go down this rabbit hole, bro? I get so frustrated because I can see the potential, and I'm like, yo, you can do this. But it's like I have more belief in you than you do yourself. Can you imagine pushing a boulder uphill? It's difficult.
It's straining.
They don't believe in them. And like, I got a friend in California right now, and I'm like, bro, leave California, come to Atlanta. I'm going to take care of you. This is the plan. Within a year, we should be good. This new company, multiple six figures. He's still in Cali, bro.
What are you waiting for, man?
Like,
somebody send them this video. What are you waiting for?
You can't, like, you can bring the horse to the water. You cannot force it to drink.
No, man.
I've tried, bro. I've tried, and I've only been disappointed. And now that I've learned how to control my emotions, no one can use it against me. That simply means that I don't care what people say about me. It doesn't matter. Like, it literally, I don't care. It does not matter.
Super important.
Super important. Napoleon Hill taught me that. If you can master your emotions, no one can ever use your emotions against you. Emotion is energy in motion. And we know how powerful words are because in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word became flesh. And people cast spells on themselves. Oh, I'm poor. Oh, I don't know enough. Oh, I can't do this. And they wonder why they can't do nothing. You've cast so many spells on your life.
Language is
How
so
do you
important.
expect to become the best, to be rich, to be wealthy, to be affluent if all you talk about is the negative things that bring in the negative energy? Have you ever read The Shape of Water?
Great book. Very good book.
But people don't comprehend that when they say things to themselves, these stuff are ingrained on you or in you, and these are the type of energies you're pulled in. But guess what society says? Oh, that's a bunch of mumbo jumbo and voodoo stuff and all these great affirmations. They don't work. Yes, they do. Ask any rich person right now. They'll tell you. Guess who's spreading the rumor that these stuff don't work? Poor people. Because all they use is the opposite. So if the opposite is true, that I don't have any time, I don't have any money, I'm always broke, I can't do this, and you're in that state, don't you think if you change the output, if you change what you're putting in, there we go. If you change the input, the output's going to be different?
150%, of course.
Thinking is the hardest thing most people never do.
So important. Your mind, right? What you put in is what you get out. Stand guardian at the door of your mind. King Solomon said that. It's if you don't protect what goes in here, what's going to come out here into the real world, it's going to be dangerous. And what's even more dangerous is that you're not even conscious of what you're putting in here. Music nowadays, that it's talking about all kinds of craziness. All this reality TV stuff and keeping up with the Kardashians and all this stuff that we watch and just entertain. And all we do is stimulate the mind with no intention. And you're distracting your mind from doing the most powerful things a human can do, which is create and imagine and envision and bring things into manifest them into real life. When you become a master of reality, it's literally bringing what was here out here. Everything in this room was an idea. This podcast was an idea. Your business was an idea. This ring was someone's idea, and they brought it into real life. That is the process of life. Taking something from here and bringing it out into the real world.
But if we condition people not to think, and there's only a few thinkers, well, in order for you to have an economy or for there to be an extreme gap between the have and the have-nots, there got to be poor people, right? So if we miseducate, misinform, mislead, and indoctrinate 80% of the population, well, not even 80, the 95% of the population, the 5% that's been running the world, they're going to keep running the world.
Yeah, that's right.
So the Rothschild says, if I control the world's finances, I care not who its leaders are. You control the money, you control the world. I don't care what leader is in there. It don't matter. Because I control finances. Whether it be gold, silver, crypto, art, whatever the currencies are, if I control them, I care not what. The leaders are puppets. So if I say that I want an economy of workers, that's what I'm going to get. The education system. A lot of people don't know that it was John D. Rockefeller that started the education system.
Designed for what? To create workers.
Not John D. Rockefeller. Rockefeller.
Yep.
It was Rockefeller that created it. A lot of people don't know that.
It's pretty wild. That wasn't too long ago either.
It wasn't 1860s.
In
the 18s?
1860s,
And
1870s.
then how they brought the Federal Reserve to life in 1913. Double language again, double speaking. The Federal Reserve, it's not even a bank and it's not even federal. But everybody believes the Federal Reserve is a federal bank.
Not even owned by the government.
I don't know how much clearer it can be.
Yeah. Double
Seek and ye shall find. A lot of people are afraid to knock because when the door opens, they don't know if they're ready for what's behind it. Oh, tell me the truth. You can't handle the truth. You can't.
I have that written on my board, and I read it every day before I walk out my door. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and you shall find. Yo, it just changed my life because I activate that part of my brain. Asking and shall be given you. Seek and ye shall find. For everyone that asketh, receiveth. He that seeketh, findeth. And for him that knocketh, it shall be open.
Closed mouths don't get fed, bro.
Yeah.
That's why we got a lot of people that's starving for information that they don't know that they're starving for. And because they're starving for this, they are malnourished financially because all their one source of income goes out to paying taxes.
Eye-opening stuff, Daraine. My friend, this has been amazing. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming.
You're very welcome.
3 questions before we wrap up. It's how I wrap
to
up
me.
all my podcasts. Question number 1. What inspires you?
What inspires me to impact more people? If someone don't know about me, I'm not doing a great job of letting people know what I know, because my people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge. So if I know that is true, it means the opposite is also true. If my people are educated, they won't be destroyed.
A mentor told me a long time ago, if you help enough people get what they want in their life, you'll get everything you want.
Correct.
I'm with it,
Smart dude.
Question number 2.
All right.
What's next for Daraine?
Oh, the Credit Summit. The Credit Summit is the first summit of its kind for us, right? It's in Atlanta. As most of you might have known, credit repair was illegal in Atlanta. You couldn't do credit repair in the state of Georgia. Couldn't do it. It was illegal. Now, March of this year, a law got passed where you can do it. And now I have the Credit Summit where consumers can come and get educated, learn skills, tactics, what they can use to correctly, using the law, dispute and delete any negative items from their credit. Credit repair business owners, you guys need to come and learn how to do disputes the right way. What type of letters you're using, what laws go with what letter, and how you're going to change the people that you are helping. How are you going to influence their lifestyle and change their finances? And all the leaders in the financial literacy space, the credit space, they're going to be there. It's an education buffet. It's an educational buffet where all you got to do is show up and just come and you will learn. I got your books. Your seats are there. All you got to do is make the commitment. So for anybody that wants to come to the Credit Summit, all you guys have to do is text the word SUMMIT, SUMMIT. Text the word SUMMIT to 917-993-5238 and get your tickets and show up. I will take care of the rest.
Sounds good, my brother. When's the event taking place?
So it is September 29th, 30 on October 1st. And the reason why October 1st is my national holiday. It's when they fired me and told me that they sent all the money to Ukraine. And it's cool. Homeboy became a millionaire. It's all right.
I love it, man. Yeah. My brother. And the last question. How do you want to be remembered?
He changed not only my life, my family's life, and I changed so many other lives because of the information I learned from him.
Impacting the world.
Yes.
Right? Leaving a dent in the universe.
Yes. I want to leave a big one. A big one in the financial space. A huge one.
My brother, you're well on your way.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to a big joy of mine is seeing people I know evolve. I look as far as you've come. Let's see how far you can go.
Let's go. There is no limit. So
I love it.
People say the sky's the limit. There is no limit. Well, we might hit the firmament, but there's waters above too. So
I appreciate you coming through. This looks like the beginning of maybe a partnership. We'll be getting together sooner in the future.
It's gonna be amazing.
And I appreciate you coming through, my man.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, guys. That was another episode of the Montana Method Podcast. Nelson Rodriguez, your host, signing off. As always, push it to the limit. The world is yours. And if you are not chasing a dream, life is meaningless, guys. Catch you on the next one.
Let's go.
I've been out here hustling all my life. Every day we get into it. Really out here in these streets. That's day and night. Like there's nothing to it. When I was going through it, dog, I never got your call. I never asked for nothing, no. But now I want it all. I promise I'ma do it. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags.